American comedy albums, those not only achieved commercial success, but also shifted cultural conversations and influenced generations of performers. Each album reflects its time, pushes creative boundaries, and ultimately contributes to the evolving art of stand-up comedy. We begin with Bob Newhart's seminal album, The Button-Down Mind of Bob Newhart. Released in 1960, Newhart's deadpan delivery and cleverly constructed one-sided telephone conversations redefined what a comedy album could be. His understated style and intellectual humor set the stage for a new era in stand-up, influencing countless comedians who admired his ability to blend wit with subtlety. Just 2 years later, in 1962, Vaughn Meader's The First Family emerged as a satirical tour de force. With its razor-sharp impersonations of the Kennedy family and the administration, the album struck a chord with a nation fascinated by politics. More than just entertainment, it became a cultural touchstone that even influenced political discourse, illustrating the power of comedy as a form of social commentary. In 1963, Bill Cosby introduced American audiences to his warm, engaging storytelling style with I Started Out as a Child. Cosby's ability to find humor in everyday experiences endeared him to a wide audience. This album not only established his trademark style, but also paved the way for his long and influential career in both comedy and television. A decade later, George Carlin's Class Clown, 1972, arrived with a powerful mix of humor and social critique. Carlin's incisive commentary on American culture and his daring routines, most notably early versions of what would become his 7 words bit, challenged societal norms and redefined the limits of language on stage. His work continues to be celebrated for its bold insights and transformative impact on comedy. Also, in 1972, the duo Cheech and Chong released Big Bambu, a double album that perfectly encapsulated the spirit of the counterculture movement of the era. Their irreverent, offbeat humor and distinct focus on the stoner lifestyle made the album a cult favorite. It marked an important moment when comedy began to embrace alternative subcultures and challenged the mainstream narrative with a fresh, irreverent voice. In 1974, Richard Pryor released That Nigger's Crazy, an album that would change the landscape of stand-up comedy. Pryor's brutally honest exploration of race, personal pain, and societal issues brought a raw and transformative energy to the stage. His fearless storytelling not only broke taboos, but also opened up new avenues for discussing uncomfortable truths, influencing a generation of comedians to use humor as a tool for deeper social critique. By 1978, Steve Martin's A Wild and Crazy Guy burst onto the scene, bringing a unique blend of absurdity, physical comedy, and clever wordplay to the forefront. Martin's album showcased his quirky, offbeat sensibility and helped launch his career as one of the most innovative comedians of his generation. His work during this period illustrated how comedy could be both intellectually stimulating and wildly entertaining. Richard Pryor returned in 1979 with Live in Concert, an album that captured him at the peak of his powers. This live recording is celebrated for its raw honesty, emotional vulnerability, and unfiltered humor. Pryor's ability to mix personal tragedy with sharp wit in a live setting set a new standard for stand-up performance, influencing countless performers who saw comedy as a way to navigate and express life's complexities. The early 1980s saw the rise of Eddie Murphy with his electrifying album and film Delirious in 1983. Murphy's dynamic stage presence and fearless, boundary-pushing routines captivated audiences and redefined stand-up for a new generation. Delirious not only showcased his incredible talent for mimicry and storytelling, but also highlighted his ability to tackle both personal and societal topics with humor and energy. Building on the success of Delirious, Eddie Murphy's Raw, 1987, further cemented his legacy in the comedy world. This album delivered even more daring, observational humor and explored themes with a frankness that resonated with audiences. Raw stands as a testament to Murphy's evolution as a comedian and his enduring influence on the art of stand-up, highlighting how comedy can evolve to reflect changing cultural attitudes. Each of these albums represents a significant moment in the evolution of American comedy. From Bob Newhart's groundbreaking conversational style to Eddie Murphy's high-energy, daring performances, these records not only entertained millions, but also played vital roles in reflecting and shaping the cultural landscape of their times. As you study these works, consider how each comedian's unique voice and perspective contributed to a broader dialogue about society, politics, and personal experience, illustrating the powerful role of comedy as both art and social commentary.